It was a neighborhood built on the backs of farmers and railroad workers. One that gained notoriety from the chants of its disenfranchised. Today, though, the face of Whitaker seems weathered, if not a bit nomadic.
Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Its current reputation tied in large part to residents who don't even have an address there.
Homeless people. Lots of homeless people.
The homeless population has become a staple of the neighborhood in recent years.
It's still poor people's neighborhood. Where else can poor people walk around the streets? Show me another neighborhood. Show me one.
An attractive place for them for a number of reasons.
I think we're at a crossroads right here today. I mean, the spot where we are in Washington Jefferson Park, where I have my basketball league every Tuesday, is a crossroads for people on the street because of the services available in Eugene.
It has a high concentration of services to people who are underprivileged and homeless and in need of special assistance.
Eugene as a whole is known throughout the Northwest as one of the more homeless-friendly cities. The Mission, with its free clothing and free room and board, acts as a magnet for the vagabond population.
I think the Mission provides a lot of really good services, but it also, just by its size, there's a lot of patrons of the Mission that end up a little bit rudderless, and they happen to be in the Whitaker neighborhood.
They come on out from the Mission and hang out in the parks in the neighborhood.
And the park they most often end up in, the one that provides the best cover.
Washington Jefferson Park there at 6th and 7th Avenue all the way down to 1st Avenue.
I think the Whitaker neighborhood suffers from a couple of things, and one is the Washington Jefferson Park.
Over time, I think as other parts of the community have wrestled with people who have housing, shelter, and addiction issues and so forth, to some degree I think they've been flushed into the park to keep them out of the neighborhoods.
It's a natural place for them to end up. It's public, big, and dry.
And these people have to have a place to go too. You know, so the people under the bridge, lucky for them, they have a place like under the bridge to go to.
Highway 126's off and on ramps, built in the 60s, did more than split the old Whitaker in half. Unintentional as it was, it created a home for the homeless.
It's actually a family. Everybody knows everybody.
Everybody is friendly to everybody.
There's a sense of unity here in the Whitaker amongst street people.
If you're homeless here and you walk up to somebody, they'll actually stop and talk to you.
There is a close-knit community of street people here that know each other very well and watch out for each other. They take care of each other, and they take a lot of pride in that.
That sense of family, though, does not always apply. Just minutes after one of our first interviews began under the bridge, a man, clearly drunk, began kicking over another transient's bike and stomping on his sleeping bag.
A lot of people without the responsibility.
I don't really like being down here sometimes, unless it's like the vagabond and everything, because of the childish drama stuff, you know. People who get drunk and come down and want to be stupid.
It's that type of activity, these kind of images, that give so many other people a negative impression of the neighborhood.
There's certain times you don't really like it, you know, like if you take your kids to the park and there's people, you know, vomiting or doing whatever over there, doing drugs.
Why don't I come down here more often? And then you go down and you realize it's because there's people sleeping on the sidewalks.
The whole neighborhood could definitely use a cleanup and kind of a removal of trash, or, you know, the crowds that hang out down here, a lot of transients.
But when you're a parent and there's people walking by and you're pulling weeds and someone asks you for a cigarette or where they can get drugs, you're like, really? Do I look like I would know where you could buy heroin? No.
The bridge isn't the only culprit either. Its little brother, tucked away just a few blocks away.
Discovered Park was put in place by some neighbors who were trying to create kind of an English garden kind of park. It has its problems because it's a pocket park, and pocket parks are difficult in urban areas. There's a lot of places for people to be and do things.
Despite what goes on in the two parks, though, the city says the neighborhood no longer necessitates any special treatment from law enforcement.
Yes, we still have some behavioral issues in the neighborhood, some people who have struggles and addiction and stuff like that. But I don't think we have much of what would be called very heavy-duty criminal activity.
Which the business owners we spoke to seem to back up.
We actually haven't really had any issues at all. We've maybe lost a couple of empty kegs here and there.
I think that old reputation of felony flats has kind of gone away.
It's a belief, then, that the stereotype created by what we see under the bridge or in the park is not truly a reflection of the Whitaker as a whole.
I've been all over this country. I've been a traveling artist in Bohemia all of my life. And if you look for negative, you'll find it. We have these problems in every city and town in America.
I think that maybe while perception could be that a neighborhood like Whitaker is less safe, I think it's just as safe as anywhere else in Eugene or Portland.
We got predators here. We got bad people here, but we also have a lot of good people. And that gets lost. They get blanketed.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad, I think, in a neighborhood like this. It can't all be good. You got to have some character and some soul to it.
That soul, though, is what some worry is disappearing from Whitaker. The neighborhood is seeing a resurgence. New businesses are popping up, a new feel emerging. Another wave of change seems to be looming. Not everyone is happy about it.